Hello pretties, welcome to Viv Surreal. So today I'm doing the Drugstore makeup tag that was created by Jen Phelps, and I originally saw MandyLea do this tag, so I'm gonna leave them both down below. Please check them out. I really do like both of them. I feel like Jen is like the best person to go for dupes. She just has like every single shadow ever created ever, and she can compare them, and she's just very thorough about comparisons and telling you like, hey, if you have this, you don't need to buy that. And I just love her for that because I've definitely gone to her channel a lot to kind of check those things out. And then Mandy, I feel like her and I have a similar style, except she doesn't do any kind of project pants, and not that I've seen at least. But I do really like her. My favorite series from her is when she does her 7 looks 1 palette, and I've gotten a lot of inspiration for her. Now we definitely have a very different style for makeup. She definitely likes to go very soft and muted, and I am bold and loud, but I still get inspiration from her, even if it's not what I would do. Like if the way she pairs up colors sometimes inspire me to create my own look. And I know I have a little bit of the white line, and there's nothing I can do about that right now, okay? Please don't forget to like and subscribe so you become a resident of Ifsterville. I can tell you I am tired. I had a long day at work. What's new? I know I've been complaining about that a lot, but honestly, for this next couple of months, these are my really busy season at work, and I'm just going crazy. I'm trying to manage best I can, and it is hot. I'm so glad I'm not wearing foundation today because it would have completely 100% melted off. It is 105 degrees. People are walking and cooking at the same time. It's a goddamn mess out here. But it's Texas. And what do you expect? I actually was hearing in the radio as I was driving home from work. They're like, oh yeah, tomorrow is going to be 107 degrees, so get ready for that. And I'm like, shit. I do not want to be ready for that. So I cannot wait for summer to be over so that we can get a nice 70-degree weather. I know what you're thinking. 70-degree weather, that's normal, like spring, summertime. But not in Texas. In Texas, you get 10 months of burning heat and then 2 months of cooler months, and then maybe 2 weeks of actual cold, but never like real cold. Like it will never drop below 20 degrees here. Like it's very rare, maybe once for the whole year, maybe 2 times, and that's it. It doesn't get cold. So the winter and fall time for me, I'm just like, thank you, Jesus. It is so hot. But honestly, I love Austin, Texas. This is the best city ever. I love it. I love it here. It's just a great time. Anyway, there's a lot of other great cities, but I really love the city that I live in. But let's just get started because I've been rambling on for 3 minutes now, and we just need to get to it. So first question is, if you could only use one drugstore / affordable brand, what would it be? That's simple. If you saw my breaking down my collection by brand, which I'll link up here, it's ColourPop. Literally half of my collection is all ColourPop. I love ColourPop. I think they're really affordable. Now they definitely do drop a lot of collections like all the time, so you have to be selective with what it is that you bring in. But overall, I think they do really good quality products. I think the only thing that people are like on the fence about is their mascara formula as well as their foundations. But I do think that they have a lot of different foundation types, and you just got to find the right one for you. Now, I've been lucky that I have really easy skin to work with. I don't have sensitive skin, and I don't have very oily skin, where I can work with pretty much everything they've got except for their matte foundation. Their, what's it called? No filter foundation. There you go. Ooh, took me a second. They're no filter foundation because it's a matte foundation. I have so dry skin that it would literally just like dry me right up. I just can't do that. All right, number 2. What's the most underrated drugstore / affordable brand? And I feel like there's 2 brands that I'm thinking of. One of them is Milani, which I do think in the last 2 years they've gotten a lot more attention and more recognition for their products. I do think they do really well quality products. I'm going to be mentioning 2 more of their products in this tag that I actually really enjoy their products. I really like them. They're really good. They really are. And then the other one I'm thinking of is Essence. Now, I feel like Essence has always been known for their mascaras, and I'm definitely going to mention their mascaras later on today in this video, but they have other products. I've heard their blushes are really good. I've tried their pressed powders, and I really like that. I've heard really good things about their little brow stuff. I'm trying to think of what else. I've heard good things about their nail polishes. I've heard mixed reviews about their bronzers and horrible reviews about their eyeshadows, which I will mention later on. But I think overall Essence is a good quality brand that sticks very affordably year-round all the time. All right, moving on. What's the most overrated drugstore affordable brand? And I'm gonna go with Physicians Formula. I think everybody loves Physicians Formula because of the butter bronzer. Everybody loves Physicians Formula because of their blushes. So I've heard good things about their highlighters as well. Their foundations are pretty good. I've heard good things about their powders. I just hear really good things about all of their products, but they're so expensive for what they are. I think the butter bronzer is like almost $15. And their foundations can be on that $18 price range, and I think there's just a little too much for what they are, because I've seen similar products from Milani that closer to that $8 to $12 range that are just as good quality, if not better. And just gonna put that out there. I've also seen e.l.f. step up their game, and I feel like e.l.f. is also very affordable and has similar quality than what Physicians Formula are. I will say though, Physicians Formula is really good quality for a drugstore brand. I am a little disappointed about them potentially no longer being cruelty free. I know there's a lot of talk back and forth about whether we should be considering them cruelty free or not, since it's only post market testing, and I know there's a lot of debate about it, so I'm not really going to get into it. I still don't know how I feel about it. So moving along. What is your favorite drugstore product under $5? Easy. Essence mascaras. They're so good. They really are. And they're so lightweight. It's easy to reapply. I recently bought the waterproof version because I said it before. I really want to see if they actually let my, when I curl them, actually make sure that they stay curled. So I don't know how that's going to work out, but I want to try it. All right, moving along. What is a hidden gem from the drugstore that no one talks about? Now, I've heard a couple of people talk about this, but like very few. And considering how good this powder is, like I'm not surprised. I'm so surprised that not everyone owns this and is like raving about it all the time. Maybe it's just because I have dry skin, and I definitely don't think that this powder is for dry skin people. Like I feel like if you have very oily skin, this is not gonna do much for your oil control. But if you have dry skin or even normal skin, this is so lightweight. It blurs your pores better than I've seen any blurring primer do ever. And it's super lightweight, it's so comfortable, and it doesn't really crease at all. It's so good. It's the e.l.f. HD powder. The only thing I wish is that one, they came in more product, because if y'all seen my empties, I run through these apparently every 3 months. And two, I really wish the packaging was a little bit better, because there's a lot of excess that you lose out on. But I love this. I really love this. Okay, my phone screen turned off. Okay, what is your favorite drugstore foundation? Pretty Fresh Tinted Moisturizer. It's the best. It just is. Now granted, I think if you have more like acne scars and there's more things you're trying to cover up, maybe this is not the right product for you. But like I said, I live in Texas. It is hot as hell in here, and a lot of times my foundation ends up like just literally melting right off me. And this is so lightweight that even if that does happen, you can tell the difference. And I am being blessed. I have really good skin, so it just works for me. So yes, and my hair is getting puffier and puffier as the video goes on. I'm trying to tame it, but it's just not having it. All right, what products do you tend to buy more at the drugstore versus high end? And I want to say is skincare. e.l.f. specifically, e.l.f. skincare has changed my life. It's affordable, it's hydrating, it works really well. It's not the best I've had. I think Lusitane is the best I've ever tried when it comes to like a really good like moisturizer. But I've said before, I have really intense dry skin. But I think e.l.f. is not that far behind. And there's a huge price tag difference. I used to spend $40. You heard that right, $40 on one moisturizer that I would run through in just 4 months, versus currently I'm spending $12 for the moisturizer that I get at e.l.f. and I run through it in about 3 months. It is such a much better deal, and I like it. It gets the job done. All right, so just putting that out there. What drugstore brand do you think is overpriced? Hands down, Pixie, right? Like, we're all thinking it. We're all thinking it. I think I heard this, and I don't know if it's true because I never actually looked into it, but I feel like I've heard before that Pixie sold at Sephora in like Asia. But like, their packaging, this is what I don't understand. They have good quality products, but their packaging is so cheap where you're like, where are you saving? Like, because you would think that if it's more affordable, like that's the thing with Essence, like their packaging, it's not the best, but the products itself is really great quality. So I'm assuming that's where they spend their money. But with Pixie, it's like 4 times the price or 3 times the price of not e.l.f. but Essence. The quality is good, but the packaging is just as bad. So it's like, what is the mentality here? I don't get it. And personally, I think Essence has some better products than Pixie does. So I do have this this one product from Pixie, and I've never really gone out and about buying things from Pixie because I just feel like if I'm gonna spend $20 on a highlighter, I can just spend $20 on like Becca mini highlighter or something that's more high end. It's just not worth it, to me at least. All right, moving on. What's your favorite drugstore dupe? Okay, so I really like the Tarte blushes, and I finished 2 blushes last year from them. Maybe it was the year before that. And I do think that the Milani blushes are really, really close dupe for it, at least the formula. I do think that the Tarte ones are slightly more pigmented and more buildable. Now, this specific shade that I own is too light for me, and I've mentioned that before in my Harry Potter project pan. So I'll leave that up here because this is in my Harry Potter project pan. And it's just a little too light for me, and I just don't feel like it builds the same way that a Tarte blush does. But it's just a long lasting. It has a slight sheen to it, but it's almost matte. It feels natural in the skin. It like I said, it's really long lasting, really pretty. Now, I haven't tried any other shades from the Milani one, but from the Tarte, I've tried a couple of them, and it just feels so similar, but it's a lot more affordable. But I really like that one. All right, moving on. What's the best drugstore eyeshadow formula? I think we're all thinking the same thing, right? It's ColourPop. It's ColourPop. I've heard so many people tell me that ColourPop can be comparable to a lot of high-end palettes, and how many people that are like huge Natasha Denona, fans, and I always hear those same people like their top eyeshadow formulas is still ColourPop. Like, I hear so many people that review luxury brands and still tell me, oh yeah, but ColourPop's still one of my top 2, top 3 eyeshadow formulas. And ColourPop is so affordable. I mean, you can get the mini palettes for like $12, $16, $18. Now, some of them are more expensive, specifically the bigger ones, the 30 ones. These ones are, I think, $38, which is slightly expensive, but you're paying just slightly above $1 per shade. They're still very affordable, but it has to be ColourPop, right? Can you tell of any other brand? The only other brand that I know that has really, really good quality eyeshadows is Milani, but even then, I've heard hits and misses from specific palettes. So, I don't know. I personally don't own any Milani eyeshadows. Okay, the worst drugstore eyeshadow formula. It's Essence, right? I feel like I'm saying the obvious, right? Now, I've personally never tried Essence eyeshadow formula, but I've never, ever, ever heard a 100% positive review. I've heard a lot of really rad reviews, and I've heard a couple of so-so reviews, and I've heard some it's workable reviews, but I've never heard 100% good review from Essence eyeshadows. I just feel like that's a sign. Okay, drugstore brand you used to love but aren't crazy about anymore. And I went with Wet n Wild. The whole drugstore, the whole cruelty-free or not thing aside, leave that out of there. I'm just not as excited for their products anymore. I feel like they haven't been innovative in a while, although their quality did get better. They're just not really coming out with anything new. Now this is the last product that I have from Wet n Wild. I'm really close to finishing it. Even if I was comfortable buying from them again, there's nothing that they have that I feel really like I would potentially repurchase. And I can't think of anything that I would. And their collections, I feel like they're always a little out there, and I just don't get why. They just do the most randomest things, and I just don't feel interested in their brand anymore. They just haven't brought me in, and a lot of the things are just a little too cutesy, too gimmicky, where I'm like, is the quality good? And the quality is also hit or miss sometimes. Like some things are really good and some things aren't, so it's like you never know what you're gonna get. I feel like I'm Forrest Gump. You know, it's a box of chocolates with, you know, Wet n Wild is like, you never know what you're gonna get. And I don't want to test it. I want to know, okay? And that's why brands like ColourPop are very consistent. I really like MandyLea, that are so consistent. That's why they do so well, I feel like. But okay, moving along. Drugstore product you didn't expect to like but totally wowed you. I have two products. I have the MandyLea eyeshadow primer, and I have the MandyLea bronzer. This product I've heard about from a couple of people, and it's affordable and it's really good. But before I had this primer, or really the e.l.f. one didn't really impress me. I always just use concealer because I don't have oily lids, so it didn't seem like a big deal to me to have just this. The concealer did just fine, but I do feel like concealer is just a little too thick on my eyelids, and if you sweat, you definitely starts coming off. And like I said, I live in Texas, it's hot, I sweat a lot here, so I didn't really love that. Versus this is so lightweight, it's easy, you can still very blendable and pigmented, and I really enjoy that. And I meant pigment, like it brings pigment out of your eyeshadows, not that the product itself pigmented. Is actually very sheer, and I do like that. And then the MandyLea bronzer, I've mentioned this before, but bronzer is not my favorite step into my, you know, makeup routine. It just isn't. I don't love bronzer, but this reignited a love for bronzer that I didn't realize I had. So I'm pretty excited for this bronzer, and I really do enjoy it. I do think I'm gonna repurchase, which I didn't think that was gonna be. There was a time where I was convinced I was just gonna drop bronzer altogether. Just like, bam, I'm done. Bronzer's not for me. We're moving along. Bigger and better things. It is blush girl right here. Blush town. This is me, you know? And then this came along, and it's like, no. We love you. You just don't know you love us back. And I'm like, okay. We can fall in love. We can dance a little bit. And that's what we're doing. We're dancing, we're flirting, and I like it. You know, it's giving me attention I didn't know I need it. All right, and then the last question. Favorite affordable eyeshadow palette right now? It's the ColourPop So Jaded. I mentioned it in my eyeshadow palette tag that this was my newest palette. It is not my newest palette anymore. Spoiler alert. And I really do enjoy this palette. It's so good. It's really worth the hype. And it is technically a little bit more on the expensive side for affordable makeup, but you're getting 30 shades for $38. It may be 32. No, I'm pretty sure it's 38. And I really like this palette. I really do. I keep talking about it, but I won't opening it. I'm a tease. This is it. Isn't she gorgeous? Just look at her. She's so pretty, and the worst thing is that she knows it, so she takes advantage of it. I'm okay with that. I'm okay with it. She's so pretty. It's so easy to work with. It's very versatile. There's so many different things you can do. I personally don't love blues, but I think this specific kinds of shades of blues that are a little bit darker, they're really easy to work with. This onyx shade right here, literally, I put this all over my lid, and it made my eyes look like it was a galaxy. I felt like there was a shooting star running through my eyeshadows, through my eyelids, and it was beautiful. God, it was so beautiful. I really, really love this palette, and I highly recommend it. Okay, just gonna close it up, and that is it. Thank you so much for being here today. Please do not forget to like and subscribe and join the family so you can become a resident of Vivciville, and I'd love to see you in my next one. Bye, guys.